What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm finally going to install my 2-inch lift that I've had for a long time. I know I've talked about installing it on the F350. I'm finally going to install it. I've been waiting for parts and just waiting, waiting for funds to come in. So I went ahead and got the Bilstein 5100s for the front shocks. And I went and got the Camber adjuster that everyone recommends to install on this thing. And then the lift I got for it was just blocks, just pucks they call them, I guess. It's a 2-inch puck. That's what it looks like right here. Nothing too fancy. This is made by MZS. Here's the here it is right here. Zoom in on it, maybe. There it goes. Kind of hard to see it. There you go. That's the part number right there on it. I don't know if they make them anymore. Like I said, I bought this a long time ago. Probably a year, 2 years ago, something like that. Basically, when I told you I was going to install it, that's when I bought these. But it's very simple. You take your coil off, you put the puck on. This is you tighten down on your little perch. It's going to go in just like this. That's where your coil sits. You're going to have your cup. It's going to mount to there, and then so that way your spring doesn't come out, and then you're going to just reinstall all over again. And then we're just going to put in a newer shock. The shocks I have in there now, I thought they were newer, but they seem like they're just really old. I already did the passenger side, and I compressed that shock, and it's been a day, and I think it's still compressed. It's still small, so they're probably bad. These are supposed to be good for a 2-inch and 2 to 4-inch lift on the truck. So I went with these instead of just the OE style yellow Bilsteins. I went with the upgraded ones, which a lot of people say these run really good and a smooth ride. So let's go and get the wheel off. I've already taken the lugs, loosen them up. We'll take the wheel off and we'll start getting this going. Tell you what y'all need to do. Okay, so now we got the wheel off. The first thing I want to do is get a jack. We're gonna put the jack right underneath the lower control arm, and basically we're gonna put a load on the spring, because what we're gonna be doing first is taking off this shock right here, one bolt and then a bolt on top. And when we have this spring compressed, it's gonna not want to shoot out, when we start taking off the brackets and things like that. So we're gonna compress it just a little bit, makes it easier on our lives. So we're gonna go and compress it. You can see the spring's getting compressed. That's about good right there. And what's gonna allow us to do is when we start taking off this bracket that holds the spring to the chassis right here, the top, that so it doesn't pop out, it's gonna allow it to decompress a lot easier. So we're gonna go take the shock off right here. 18mm socket, and on the back it's gonna be a 3/4 to hold the nut from spinning. That's the bolt right there for the bottom. Now you should be able to just compress these shocks in. Just a little bit, and you'll be able to pull that out. Okay, now we just got to remove this bolt right here on top that holds the coil. It's going to be a 1/2 inch. Now remember, when you unloosen this bolt right here, remember to have a load on this spring right here. Make sure you have your jack underneath and it's loaded, because once you remove this bolt, it's going to want to spring out. It's holding it's holding all the compression, this bolt, and then this perch on the bottom. So just make sure you have it on a jack, and you should have no problems. We're going to go ahead and remove this one. All right, we got that bolt out. Now you can take this bracket off. This is that bracket. Has a little T on the back that clips into your shock tower right here on top. And that's how it sits right there and holds that coil right there. So you're gonna need that again. I like to put the bolt right back just so I don't lose it, because that's kind of an important bolt. So we removed the bracket here, remove the shock. So this coil should decompress when we let this go, the jack. You'll see we're gonna start lowering the jack. Just go slow. There it goes. You want to release all that energy slowly. There it goes. So here's the bolt right here. It's kind of hard to see, guys. I'm trying to show it to you. Here's the bolt right here that you're gonna take off. It's right in the middle of the coil. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna use that you're gonna use the 1/1/8 inch socket with an extension. You're gonna drop it right down in there. Get it right off that bolt, and then we're gonna get a impact gun. Pop it off right here. That's the easiest way to do it that I've seen. And instead of you wrench on it, it's gonna take a while, and it's really not that fun. So this is the best way of doing it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done right now. And that's it, guys. Should all come out. There's your coil. There's your coil right there with the little cup on the bottom and your socket. Here's the little cup. That's the bolt right there. Remember how that cup goes? Cup goes up, because that's how we're going to reinstall it. So now, what we'll do is you have this bolt sticking out. That's where the nut was at. You're gonna go and hit your little extension. And you're gonna put this one on. Should be the same size as that socket. What we're gonna do is we're gonna impact it on there too. All right, so now you're gonna put your puck on. If it doesn't sit on flat, use your jack it up. It might just be at a weird angle because all the suspension's dropping down. So it could be that. So it should sit flat on there. We're gonna go ahead and put the coil on. Like so. Put your cup. Facing up. Once you get your bolt inside the center, you're gonna want to tighten it up, and we're gonna tighten it up the same way we loosened it. We're gonna do it with the impact. Just remember, there's a little groove on this puck for the coil. Just seat it right on there, and then make sure this is flat facing you, because that's where your hook's gonna go to secure the coil. So just make sure you have those two things right. Next thing, the hard part is getting this coil back into this cup. You are lifting this 2 inches. You are lifting this 2 inches, so it's way higher than what it was before. So that's gonna be the hard part of the whole install. Is getting that cup in. I mean, if you had 2 guys, you could probably get some guy to stand on this and then get it in there in place. When I did it on the other side, I had spring compressors. Now I bought these a while back, you know, for, you know, just car use and truck use, and you never know you need one, so they come in handy now. But that's what I used. I compressed it as much as I could so I could stick it in there. Even compressing this and trying to push it in there, it was kind of a chore. I ended up compressing as much as I could. And then again, if you have two guys, you can have somebody pushing it in while you're securing it. But I was by myself, so I had actually just ratchet strapped it here to push it in, to hold it in, until I put the bolt in. So I recommend renting some spring compressors, just so that way you're not fighting this thing too much by yourself. If you're by yourself, if you have somebody with you, you probably wouldn't need this, but I would use it if you have it, and try to get as much of a bite as you can, because once you start maxing this thing out, it's going to be pretty tough. All right, guys, so I didn't film a lot of that, but basically I compressed the spring. I put these two spots right here, and I just basically ratchet strapped it into the right place. Switching from this and putting pressure with a jack underneath to lift it up in the right spot. Once you get it, you put this little T-bracket in through the back, put the bolt in. As soon as you get this bolt in, you should be able to tighten everything up right after that. That's the hardest part probably of this whole job, is getting that back in the spot. I just got it in. I'm gonna go ahead and secure this. Once you secure that bolt, this spring isn't going to pop out of here. So you should be good. You should be after that. You can release your spring compressors. Okay. Here. Butcher. The last thing to do is to install the camber bushings. So you can, because when you put this lift in, you can already maybe tell, I'm not sure, but this wheel's already positive camber. It's already going this way. That just happens when you get lift. So you want to put this in so you can negative it out and get it more flush. So the way you do these, just so I can show you all real quick. The way you do these is, here's where the bushing goes right here. And you're gonna go ahead and, what I did learn last time on the other side is take this bolt out. I just loosened it up, but you do gotta take it out because this bushing, okay, so you do gotta take the bolt out because this bushing, as you can see, has a notch. And when it's sitting in there, that bolt goes right through there. So you won't be able to pry this thing up out. So the trick is to lubricate this, make sure it's all good with WD-40 or a PB blaster. And then we're gonna pry it up right out here. It should pop out pretty easy. The main thing is just be able to move this back and forth like this, twist it, and it should pop out. You can also pry this fork open a little bit, and that'll remove it out easier. Hopefully it's easier on this side than the other side. It took me about 3 hours to get the other side out, but I didn't know about that bolt that you have to take it out completely. And there it is right there. Way easier than the last time, I'll tell you that. Now, when you put these new ones in, like I said, you want to get it has the most camber, because most people say this has to be maxed out. So you find the spot that has the biggest wedge and put that towards you so you can camber it that way. And that's it. Just got to put the wheel on and we're good to go.